The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
Lately, what I like to do is peruse Shudder, the streaming app, and watch films, horror from the 80s that I might have overlooked back in the day that I like to take a look at now. Films like Queen of Black Magic, Fade to Black, and also this other film that just got put on there called Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker. And it stars Susan Terrell, but it also has Bill Paxton, and it also has Britt Leach. Now, I'm not going to get into the plot of the film, but these two actors, Bill Paxton and Britt Leach, of course, you know Bill Paxton, and Britt Leach is a great character actor. But what makes it so much more interesting for me with these two is that 4 years later, they but actually were in another film that we all seem to love so much, Weird Science. So I think it's kind of unusual to see the whole thing go full circle from horror to sci-fi comedy. So that's I thought that was pretty interesting. So Britt Leach and Bill Paxton both in Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, as well as Weird Science. I thought it was interesting. I'm sure there are other situations where a duo would be in one film, pretty much unknowns, to be in another film later on in their careers. So I wonder where else that's happened. I don't know. Do you guys know? I don't know. Well, you know what? I got a show to do. Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 451 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast and recorded in front of an undead studio audience here at Castle Wolfenstein. Also at the Lair of La Swag within the Raven Chateau. Also at Casa de Zero and the Lair of the Gods. We are back, the four of us, in quarantine in the pandemic. Hopefully vaccinated soon. Did you guys hear Massachusetts rolled out their plan?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Massachusetts
vaccine.
It's been the whole rollout's been a joke. Like, we trust people to be honest about their conditions and not lie. Yeah. That's why there's a huge influx of people just signing up.
So, yeah, and I apparently saw my state will be doing it no later than April 27th, I believe it was. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe there will be some semblance of normalcy in the world soon. Ravenchow, you excited about the vaccine or what? He's not participating. All right.
He gave up.
All right. Great. So apparently
I'll
he's
be
not
participating.
All right. Well, are you excited, MZ?
I can't wait. Speaking as somebody who got the COVID, I don't want to get it again. So I want this vaccine, And when I was with my doctor yesterday, he told me that I qualify to get it. In fact, he was kind of surprised that I haven't gotten it yet. So I hope to obtain my vaccine, whether it's one dose or two doses. I don't care which, but just stick that shit in my arm, man. Make me invincible.
Apparently, I saw that some people who had COVID that get the vaccine actually see some of their long-term symptoms start to dissipate. So,
thank good. Thank God. That means I'll be able to taste food and smell farts again. It'll be a golden day for me when I do.
Well, I've also heard that people that have had the COVID and get the vaccine also run into a little more side effects when getting the vaccine, like the pain and fatigue hits them a little harder than normal.
Well, the fatigue is still sets in on me every now and again. For a while after I was deemed negative, the fatigue was just laying in on me for a good solid month after the fact, and it just wouldn't let go. And I lift things, I pick things up and I put them down, heavy things. And if I'm picking up a box, say like that's 40 pounds, 50 pounds, I got to give myself like a minute breather just to regain my strength, because it just knocks the hell out of you. And if I dealt with it once, I could deal with it again, even if it's, albeit, maybe a little bit stronger, like you say, Aries. I'll just muscle through it. I'll just fight through it. That's what I've been doing all along. So, wish me luck.
I also hear that your balls can fall off if you've had COVID and get vaccinated.
Oh,
MZ.
God. Well, if that's the case, then I'll lose about 10 pounds of weight.
Then you can go by your new porn name. What was it again?
Yes, well, I can't go by my new porn name if I lose them.
What was it? Hunky McNuggets?
Hunky McNuggets. No, that's not no, Hunky McNuggets is not my new name. No. Actually my new my new name is Brad Dragon Sack.
What?
Yeah.
Dragging or dragon?
Dragon.
Brad
DRAGONSAC. But it's pronounced,
dude,
like dragon, like it's dragging on the ground.
That's terrible. That's way worse than what was your old one? Rocky Overhang.
What's wrong with Rocky Overhang?
I'm saying that's better than Brad Dragonsack.
All right,
terrible.
so they all can't be winners. Hey, it's a porn name. You get laid. You don't worry about your name.
No, you don't. You're a fucking actor.
Your name is supposed to make people to see you, not like cower in fear because your nuts are dragging on the ground.
And like, it'd be nice, like Logan Long or Jack Slasher. Like those are some fucking names, dude.
Jack Slasher? That's not much of a porn name. that might frighten a few.
It's better than
people.
Brad Dragonsack.
Yeah,
I like Dragon. Well,
terrible.
all right, then call me just call me Captain Dragon Sack then. Whatever,
No,
I don't give a fuck.
No, it's fucking
You get
miserable.
promoted for a shitty name.
In fact,
Yeah.
I'm no longer Month Zero. I'm Captain Dragon Sack. How do you like that?
No one will ever call you that.
Oh, yes, you will.
Okay. Right, dipshit. I'll call you that. How about that? How about
Well,
that?
what about
huh?
Dick? Well, what about my other name, Dick de la Creme?
That's better. That's way better than Brad Dragonsack.
I know the Brad isn't a very good first name.
No, it's terrible. For this, I mean, hey, if anyone out there listening with the name Brad, I like your name, but not in this case.
Yeah, it's not a good porn name.
Brad.
Up this shitty name on
Brad.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a very 70s/80s. It's a very preppy name, I think.
Yeah,
And I
perfect,
reek of
perfect for
preppy.
you. It's perfect for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the fucking Philadelphia Dragon Sacks.
The Boston Dragons.
From
then.
Clan Dragonsack.
yeah.
Oh, man.
Colin McDragon Sack in the fucking Highland. Yeah, that's fucking.
Dick Delacreme
You could
is
be
much
like-
better.
You could be Rad Pitt. That'd be a fucking name, maybe something different.
Brad Pitt.
Or Rad Dragonsack.
Yeah,
Drop the B.
or Red Dragon.
Or how about if I just drop the R and call it Bad Dragon Sack?
Nah.
Out lose the dragon and the
Yeah,
sack.
yeah, seriously. What do you do? Like, this is what you do at work when you take that minute break in between lifting heavy things?
Ugh.
You think of poor names?
Yeah, I do actually.
Oh my
Be
God.
like, you know, Tom,
What
I
the fuck is wrong with you?
genuinely do.
I
I'm
picture
gonna
them
I'm gonna
like-
go out on a limb here and assume they don't allow you to look at your phone at work.
Of course not.
Are you kidding me? Everybody there stares at their phone while they're working. The only one who doesn't is me.
Yeah, I don't believe that 1 second.
No, that's actually, dude, why am I gonna lie about something like that? No, I don't. When I'm at work, I never look at my phone. When I'm on my breaks, yes. When I'm out there on the job,
You watch
with my job-
Battle Royale 2 on your fucking break.
No,
You did that once at lunch.
on my break, probably. Yeah,
That's what I said.
on my break. Like the other day, I watched. What did I watch on Pluto? Easy Money. With Rodney Dangerfield and Joe Pesci.
Oh,
Is that fun?
speaking of not Joe Pesci, but speaking of Joe Piscopo, was it you that posted the picture of him, MZ?
Yeah.
Is that really him now?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even recognize him.
I know, right? He looks like Shemp Howard.
Yeah, he does. He should cast him the fucking Stooges.
And everybody's like, well, he's old. I'm like, yeah, I know he's old, and I know, people get old, but they maintain some semblance of what they used to look like before. And he just looks so different. And I've always laughed at the appearance of Joe Piscopo. I don't know why. There's something about him physically that just makes me laugh.
All right.
No, I can't put my finger on it. He's a goofball. I mean, he's done a couple of movies that's worthwhile, but every time I look at him, I just break out in laughter. He's just so strange looking to me. But yeah, he looks so weird. He's like 70 years old now. Look at him. He's so weird looking.
When you posted that, I thought you said it was Joe Pesci. I'm like, that's fucking weird.
Well, that's why when you mentioned Joe Pesci, that's why I thought of Joe Piscopo. Anyways, let me dive into what we're doing on this week's show. We're going to be talking about the film The Vigil, and looking forward to talking about this one. And then we'll just kind of shoot the shit. I don't think, as of right now, I don't know if we have any voice messages. I'll have to take a look. But if you're listening live and you want to get in your voice message, there is still some time. Actually, no, we did. I'm sorry, we do have one. So, but there still is time if you'd like to get a voice message in. Podcast at trickortreatradio.com, or you can go to trickortreatradio.com, click on contact, and there you can. There's a place right there where you can leave a voice message right on the site. So take advantage of that. Let us hear your voices, and if you saw the film The Vigil, let us know what you thought. Or you can talk about anything. But was there something from last week when we had Corando on the show that you wanted to talk about, or anything? So feel free to drop us a line and let us know. Get some really good feedback from the Corando show that we had last week. I know you guys had a lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
Fucking blast, dude.
It was a ball.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was great having Corando on and catching up with him, and yeah, it was really awesome. So we appreciate Corando taking the time to hang with us, and we actually got one more question last week for Corando. It was just in an email, but unfortunately, it was from our boy Dane Unda, and it came at midnight. So I think we literally had just wrapped up the show, and we got something from Dane. So I apologize, Dane, but it came in just past showtime. But I'll ask it to you guys, and maybe you guys can answer for Corando. Raven Shadow, I know you like to talk for people, so maybe you want to answer for Corando?
Oh
Well, I
boy.
ain't gonna fuck. I ain't gonna fuck
God,
with Rondo. You know what I'm saying? I'll fuck with you guys.
I could hear Carando just screaming, "No!"
All right.
No, Carando likes me. I'll maybe let me hear the question, then I'll send Carando a private message, and we'll see what happens.
All right.
Maybe you can.
He'd love to hear from you.
All right. So Dane asks, just wanted to ask if Carando has been doing much writing in lockdown. I think he kind of talked about that. He had been, kind of working on some stuff. To say I'm looking forward to Maniac Driver tremendously, and tell him there's an awesome horror movie festival in Australia called Monster Fest, where I would quite selfishly love to see his flick. They're always looking for good indie horror movies. So not so much a question, but Rave Shadow, has Carando been doing much writing in lockdown?
Oh yeah, man. He's writing. He's writing, and he's fighting, and he's smiting all up there. All doing those things. He's smiting Dragon Balls, whatever the fuck that Monster Zero was talking about.
All right.
All right.
No, I'm just doing lines.
Oh,
Doing lines, creative measures. He's doing very creative over there. I watched that clip that Creepy Girl posted of Carando on the Ugly Betty show.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
pretty
I
awesome.
missed that.
Yeah, she posted on the Fib.
Yeah,
Did she? I didn't even see that. Shit.
Wow, you missed a Creepy Girl post? Oh,
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had no idea she posted it.
It's good.
By the way, did you guys
I
see
feel like a real dick.
You should feel like one. Did you guys see the picture that Mars posted for 316 of all of us young bucks?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
And
That was classic NCW.
yeah, it had all of us in it, although Aries was obscured a little bit.
Yeah, it was just my crotch.
That's all he wanted to show.
Yeah.
Well, if I known it was just going to be my crotch, I would have patted it a little bit.
He was Joey Ryan before Joey Ryan.
Well, anyways, in that, Creepy Girl posted on social media, she commented and just said, MZ looks so cute. Like, all of us are there, and she just mentioned you.
Yeah.
How's that make you feel?
Yeah. It's my testes swell.
Okay,
I'm very
rad
happy.
dragon sack.
I feel very humble.
Then there's a better name for you, Rufus Testy Swell. That's a much better name than fucking Brad Dragonstein, or whatever the fuck you were talking about.
What about Rufus Dragon Sack?
You gotta drop the dragon.
Not
Yeah,
dragon
drop
sack,
the
it's
dragon
good
and get with
brother.
drop the dragon and get with the sack.
Yeah. There's nothing about you that's a dragon.
Oh, well, there's a lot about him that's a drag.
That's
Yeah.
well, like a hippity up. Yeah.
I'm about as enjoyable to be around as a pine cone enema.
Wowzers.
A pine cone enema. Has someone ever told you that, MZ? That sounds very specific.
No.
Not yet, anyways.
It's not to my face anyway. Maybe. You never know.
Oh, the other thing I wanted to bring up is something that's happening this weekend. But before I do that, for anyone who is joining us tonight, why are you hanging out with us and not watching the Snyder Cut? That's what I want to know. Everyone's
Sure.
watching the Snyder Cut, right, Raven Shadow?
Almost everybody.
Almost. MZ, are you going to watch the Snyder Cut?
Get that going over here.
Kidding me? I'm not going to watch that shit. Better things to do.
I'm
Apparently,
gonna watch Black Knight twice.
yeah, he's going to watch a Black Knight twice in a row. 4 hours of the Black Knight.
I'll watch let me tell you this. I'll tell you this right now, and this is the God's honest truth. I'll watch a 4-hour cut of Black Knight before I even consider watching that superhero Drek.
Drek.
You fuck.
I
I think, all right, so who's not watching the Snyder Cut is probably MZ, Joth, and like Corey. That's probably it, because he's really mad about that picture.
So I guess there's a lot of I don't know if there's a lot, but a lot of people are. I've seen people who comment on the fact that they're kind of pissed that the Snyder Cut is in 4:3 ratio,
Yeah.
which MZ, if as you remember, 4:3 is the same ratio they use for The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
And it's more of a square. Obviously, there's four. I forget how they describe it. It's basically like 4x3 is 4x4 would be a complete square, but 4x3 is
Right.
a little bit longer on the sides. But that's how they film for IMAX, and that's how Justice League was originally filmed was for IMAX. So since it's the Snyder Cut, he's presenting basically the cut, the way it was intended. Now most people are seeing it on a TV, so they're kind of pissed that there's black bars on the side, which I can get behind. It is a little jarring, especially seeing a big, sort of epic superhero film. It is a little weird. I did watch the first few minutes of it this morning, so it is a little weird watching it in that aspect ratio. But I mean, that's what he went with. So. Yeah, Raven Shadow, but that's leading us into what you got going on this weekend.
Oh man, yeah. So a lot of nerd content is dropping this weekend. Once again, Zack Snyder's Snyder Cut of Justice League is dropping on the HBO to the Max, and then also Falcon Winter Soldier is dropping on Disney Plus this Friday. So, I was talking with some sort of boys in the back, Rocky and Evil Corny. And we're like, let's get together, maybe have a chat. We'll discuss it like gentlemen. And then I was like, you know what? What's even better than chatting with a three-way chat? What if we opened up to more of a gang chat, if you will? So, this Friday, this Sunday, we're changing the time, changing the day. But this very Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come join myself, Rocky, Evil Corny on the Blackout Tapes. If you're a Patreon subscriber, check it out. We're going to be talking. I know new member Double D will be joining us. So, yeah, if you want to do a deep dive in some nerdy talk, come hang out with us. As of right now, we're not recording it. It's just going to be a conversation. So we're at the bar. You guys are more than welcome to eavesdrop or grab a chair and sit down. So,
yeah.
It should be a good time.
It should be. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm hoping I get a chance to watch the 4-hour film before then. I probably will be able to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier because that's obviously going to be a lot shorter, but I'm hoping to get a chance to watch it, so maybe I can join in for a little bit. But earlier that day, MZ and I have something going on. We have our annual fantasy baseball draft early in the day.
That's right. That's right. And that's going to take up about 4 hours.
Yeah,
time.
a good 4 hours.
Yeah.
Although
you could watch your Justice League and do the draft at the same time. See which gets done first. Watch the movie be longer than the draft.
I don't need anything distracting me during the draft, so no. Although I probably mentioned this on the show before, but back in the day, I think it was the very first year that we ever did fantasy baseball. Michael Ravenshadow was a general manager of one of the teams.
That's right.
Do you remember your team name, Ravenshadow?
I think I was the Cell Block 6 Not For Nothings.
Yes, you were.
Yeah. That he remembers.
And that,
Of course he remembers that. It's about him.
I think was that 07? It might have been like
Oh, it was way earlier than that.
Like 01 or 02.
Yeah, it was 01, I think.
Wow. So this is our 20th year.
20th year doing it, but with the current format, I think we started in 2002. Because I think we did it. The first year we did it was like, I think the only people still in it are you, me, Tron, Psycho.
Your brother.
Yep. And that might be it.
Smoke and Tie?
Oh, Smoke and Tie. Yeah. He was in it, and then he left for a few years when he came back. So that's what. Yep.
Oh,
so,
that's right. Yeah.
So it was. I think there was 5 of us. It still counts in the grand scheme. So I think you're right, MZ. I think this is technically our 20th season.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. Almost half our life we've been playing fantasy baseball.
We should
But
celebrate.
I only just drafted like the Red Sox players
Yeah.
of that time.
Yeah, you had like like I don't remember who was on the team then, but probably like Manny Ramirez was still on the team probably.
Well, I remember like trash talking when we were living at the Manor with Tron. I like that part of it. But I think I might try it again in the start of a new continuity, and I just grabbed like Mikey Lowell,
Like yeah.
like fucking Pedro, yeah, and just like Edgar Renteria, just fucking everybody. So do me a comment. Always drafting the Red Sox. Well, that's my fantasy.
Edgar Allan
Is to be with the
Renteria.
Red Sox. Edgar Allan Renteria.
Reach around, wrench it off.
Yeah, you could be reaching around Renteria. That could be a point.
Reach it off, Renteria.
Yeah, Renteria reach around. Double R. The Flag and Dragon or whatever.
Flag and Dragon. Is that a double Picard Aries?
Oh my god, I don't have enough hands. I don't know.
Sag and Dragon.
Sad Dragon. It's okay, sad dragon. Sad dragon sack. Yeah, there you go. That rhymes with Brad. Sad dragon sack.
Yeah.
Or Chad Dragon Sack or Zach Dragon Sack.
That doesn't rhyme. with
Just
Brad.
sad sack.
Yeah, sad sack,
Yeah.
dragon sack.
Just sad sack.
Sad sack the dragon.
Yeah, Zach the Sack Maniac.
I want the Snyder cut of that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, we have to. I also have to figure out what we're doing for next week's film. I think I have something picked out, but it's not positive, so I'll do that during the show. There's a
Snyder
lot.
cut.
Snyder
Snyder
yeah,
cut.
we'll make MZ watch it.
Yeah, you fuck.
MZ, what would you do if we picked that to review on the show?
What movie?
The Snyder cut.
I would not show up.
No.
Wow, really?
Snyder
I
cut.
No, it's Snyder cut. Snyder cut.
I really would not show up.
Wait,
I
know what
wouldn't
we could
show
do.
up.
We could become a Snyder Cut podcast. We'll review it minute by minute.
Yeah.
Next week, minute 1. The week after, minute 2. How many episodes is that?
Well, let's see, 4 hours. That'd be about 250
200.
episodes.
Yeah, so we could get rid of MZ for a while.
But to be fair, last week
I'll be back in
I
7
watched.
I'll be back
Aaron and
in
I
4
watched
years.
Giallo.
There's always
And
room
we
for
didn't-
Giallo, Raven Shadow.
It's true, as long as it's not expired. But we
No,
You know,
you should eat that. You really should eat that.
maybe it's weird. I don't like eating things in front of an audience.
Well, that's true. I
You
mean, that's where you get the name Banana Fingers.
Yeah.
No, that's fucking weird. No, listen.
You should dip your banana into your Jello.
I don't eat a lot of jello. We actually made pudding the other day. It was nice. We made pudding when it heats up and has a skin on top. That's nice. That's classy. Remember that?
Go to your kitchen, get yourself a banana, and eat it.
Brad Pudding
Right.
Sack.
Yeah, Brad pudding.
Brad Banana Sack.
Banana Pudding Sack.
Yeah. Sexy, right?
No, that doesn't work. Banana Sack. Banana Sack. Da-da-da-da. Banana Sack. Da-da-da-da. Banana Sack. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Oh man. So yeah. So Raven Shadow is going to be hosting a special, very nerdy edition of the Blackout Tapes this Sunday. So that would be the 21st. Is my math right? Yeah, Sunday the 21st
Yes.
around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our Discord channel, right, Raven Shadow?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, right now we're already international. We got Dominican Republic, we got Canada, we got Alabama, we have New England.
You
All
do
the
know
countries.
Alabama is not international.
If you're in Canada, it's international,
That is
Okay.
true. Okay.
and we're in England, the new one.
The New England. It's still the same country.
I mean, it's to be fair, there's nothing new about England. That's true.
Oh boy.
But no, it's exciting. Right? We may get more. We may get more. We may get more. You know what I mean? I'm not sure
we
what
make it
kind.
more. We make it more. The more you say it, the more people are going to show up.
Yeah,
It's like fucking Beetlejuice.
Candyman.
Yeah, Beetlejuice, Candyman, whatever.
You know, I'm not sure if it's Monday in Australia on Sunday, but you know, maybe Dane can come over,
Yeah, maybe.
hang out.
Maybe.
You know. Tim Juma.
Maybe. No, I doubt it.
Yeah.
You want him to fucking huff it all the way to Worcester just to hang out with you.
No, I don't recommend that for anybody.
No.
But it could truly be like a Justice League International, Johnny.
Ooh.
See what I did there?
Dragon Sack International.
Dragon Sack, yeah. Fucking Dragon Sack. So I didn't know we were on air. I thought we were just talking still because we were having some problems. But yeah, it's fun.
What? You didn't know we were on air?
Maybe like 10 minutes ago. Yeah, I had no idea.
Dude, you're so full of shit. He's bullshit. He's playing you up, dude. No, he knew that was on.
You playing me up?
When you were talking, no, man. When you were talking about the palace and stuff, I was saving. I'm like, oh, I'm doing a funny joke. We're on the air, and then I realized how much people kept talking. I'm like, no, we are on the air right now because I was having some technical difficulties.
I know.
You understand?
You wouldn't let me help you.
I would let you help me. I'll get a little frustrated, Johnny. I'll be a little moment. I'll walk away.
I'm not frustrated.
Walk away.
I'm not frustrated. You are. You were just, and you froze while you were frustrated too. You look sad.
I was
like,
pissed.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, are you kidding me?
So
I was having a nap.
So we'll kind of wrap up the blackout tapes thing there. So yeah, join. Maybe we'll make some social media posts about it, Raven Channel, so people don't forget. Or, if they catch the show after the live show, want to make sure they hear about it. So we'll post about that. But I don't know why I was going to say this, but I was going to say that there's a lot of really fucking good movies this year. Like, I don't know if it's because maybe last year was kind of like meh because a lot of films got delayed, but this year's been fucking solid, man.
So far, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like already, we're not even like, we're just halfway through the March, and like, I'm seeing like a tough top 13 develop already,
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. It's been a really good year so far. Now, will that continue today? We'll find out. But
yeah,
so far, especially compared to last year, this year has been remarkable.
And speaking of films we've done recently, one of the films that we discussed on the show just got nominated for 5 fucking Oscars.
Psycho Gorman?
And for the Hunky Boy of the Year award, Psycho Gorman.
That would be outrageous.
Aries is dying. Please don't die, Aries.
I'm doing the best.
I know. I appreciate you muting. But no. Promising Young Woman got nominated for fucking 5 Oscars. Best Picture, Best Screenplay, Best Actor, Best Director, and Best Editing. Right, MZ?
Well, Best Actress.
Actress. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great flick.
Yeah, we all loved it.
And to see the Academy, for what it's worth, to see the Academy recognize it so highly it's really refreshing to see. It's about time a film on this topic gets the credit it deserves. I mean, it's got to be made well, and that was certainly this. But to see the Academy, acknowledge that's just just another step. I think it's great.
Yeah, and
now, like, will Casey, or is it Casey or Carrie?
Carrie
Mulligan.
Carrie Mulligan.
Carrie. Now the only thing is that I would love to see Carrie Mulligan win, but man, I mean,
Frances
McDormand.
Yeah, she wins all the time. So
she is so, but she's good in everything she does.
Yeah,
she is so good. she's just so good in everything she does. It's ridiculous, and it's going to be an uphill battle for Mulligan to beat McDormand, as well as anybody, Viola Davis and a couple of others. But McDormand's the front runner. She always is. She's just phenomenal. And I haven't seen Nomadland yet either. And I would love to, simply because of her. Haven't had the chance to see it yet. I hope to soon. But she's tough to beat.
So the thing I think it'll be interesting is I think people will watch this movie because there's a lot of people out there that watch Oscar-nominated films just because they're nominated, right? They want to see all the nominees, check them all out. So people are going to check this out and say, "Oh, Promising Young Woman, okay, cool." And I think they're going to be in for a rude awakening when they see it and kind of get a feel for what's going on. It's funny, my mom actually does that. She watches them, and I'm like, I kind of warned her. I'm like, it's a tough watch, and she's like, after she watches, she's like, wow, just wow.
Yeah.
So I still don't actually know if
she watched it. Yeah.
Yeah, she watched the whole thing. Yeah,
Really?
she got it on VOD, watched it. So I think a lot of people are going to be watching that and surprised by kind of where it goes. So it's great though. I'm glad that it's going to get some more eyes on it. And if you think back to last year, what Oscar nominated film did we discuss on the show? Anyone recall?
Was there one?
Yeah, Parasite.
Oh, of
We did
course.
Parasite.
And Parasite won Best Picture, right?
Yeah.
So let's see if
And Best Director.
Yeah, well, let's see if Trick or Treat Radio is going to be 2 for 2. maybe people want us to review their films in the future.
Yeah. we could be seat fillers for when like James Woods has to go to the bathroom or whatever.
No, if we review your Oscar nominated film, then you win. That's how it goes. We're 1 for 1. Let's see if we can go 2 for 2.
All right.
I'm just fucking with everyone, of course.
Oh, God.
What, Aries?
I'm sorry. I hate the Oscars. So this whole idea is just, oh,
That's why it's kind of funny because it doesn't really.
yeah.
matter
I mean,
at the end of the day.
it is funny. And I think it's great that this movie is getting attention, but it's just like, the idea of us become Oscar, affiliation, just, it's like, oh God, just
please.
no.
My uncle Oscar.
Yeah,
Moocher.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe MZ should come up with a porn name with Oscar in it.
Oscar the Mouth.
Oscar the Mouth.
Oscar the Sack.
Oscar the Sack. Yeah.
No, I like Oscar the Mouth. That's good.
Yeah, he's really good at it.
Oscar the Crotch.
Oh, yeah. Rude, sir.
Oscar the Gouch.
Oh, yeah. Oscar the Gay. It's weird. That's a weird thing. No.
Oscar the Pouch. Actually, I want to drop a little bit of news as well. And you guys probably saw it on my Facebook page that my friend Mark Murray, he's got a Kickstarter going on now for the release of his new book that he spent 30 years of his life working on. It's about the life of Rudy Ray Moore. He was his manager during the late 90s up until the time that he died, if I'm not mistaken, in 2007. And the book is called Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself. And he's got a Kickstarter going on. He needs, if I'm not mistaken, $33,000. His goal is $33,000. There are perks. And last I knew, I think he was just under 10,000 right now with 28 days to go. So if you are a big fan of Rudy Ray Moore, like I am, because I pledged and I'll be getting the book, go to Kickstarter, look for Mark Murray or Rudy Ray Moore, and please pledge to support this book. He's been working on it for 30 years. And when I met Mark at Chiller 2009, I noticed when we were unpacking our stuff, we were working at Chiller, he had a bunch of Rudy Ray Moore stuff with him. I'm like, shit, you're a Rudy Ray Moore fan, huh? He goes, yeah, I was his manager for several years. And I was like, holy shit, you got to be kidding me. He goes, no, I'm not. And he said that he was gonna have a book out. He's working on it for the past 18 years, and that he's been working on it for that many years. And I was like, well, whenever it comes out, I'll be the first one to buy it. So I can't wait now that it's finally coming out, Kickstarter. So I just can't wait for it to come out. It's a soft cover book. It's about just under 400 pages. It's going to have like over 600 photos in it. So if you are a Rudy Ray Moore fan, check it out. It's on Kickstarter.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that sounds super cool. So yeah, if you guys are interested, check that out. Sounds like he's super knowledgeable and would know the dude pretty well.
Yeah, he is the foremost man of knowledge when it comes to Rudy Ray. So
nice. Also, speaking of Kickstarter, our boys, or our boy Fred over at Mixtape Massacre, they just launched a Kickstarter for the director's cut of Mixtape Massacre, and they were funded in like 3 hours. And now they're on to stretch goals. So I've been meaning to get Fred back on the show, so maybe it's a good opportunity to try to reconnect. So I'll reach out. I'm sure they're going to be super busy during the Kickstarter, but I always love talking to Freddie and having him on. So maybe we'll reach out and see if we can make that happen. But yeah, congrats to our friends over at Mixtape Massacre. And if you guys are interested in the director's cut, look it up on Kickstarter and help them reach their stretch goals, because there's some pretty cool ones.
nice.
All right, so we should start to wind things down here. Raven Shadow, are you mad or are you okay? You mad, bro?
I'm frozen.
Yeah, you are frozen. Now
Put a
you're
jacket on.
Now you're not. All right.
You got to pay for the heat in that house, dude.
Yeah,
I'm not just going to give it to you for free.
Yeah, well,
Speaking of heat, maybe the Patreon. Maybe it's a good time to call on the Patreon. So, Patreon, we just released our new episode a few days ago, the Patreon exclusive, where we talk about Giallo, and more Giallo. And MZ created a top 10 list of his favorite Giallo films. So we talk about those, break it down, just talk about Giallo in depth, and tell you where you can find the film streaming. So check that out over on our Patreon, patreon.com/trickortreatradio. And for as little as $2, I want my $2, you can help support the show. And for that $2, you can use that as your cover charge to get access to the blackout tapes. Because in the $2 tier, you get access to the blackout tapes. So if you guys want to join in on the conversation this upcoming weekend, or for future blackout tapes, you can get in that $2 tier. Or if there's extra perks as you work your way up the different tiers. So give that a look. Consider helping to support the show. And we got some cool stuff coming down the pike. So go ahead and give that a look. And you can also join the Discord channel. We have our own Discord, and we're chatting the best shit on there. We got the blackout tapes. That's where they're being hosted. And you can join for free. You don't even have to play, but you only have access to the one chat room. And then as you work your way through the Patreon tiers, you get access to different chat rooms. So give that a look and consider joining and help support the show so Raven Chow can keep his heat on. Also,
there's a bigger bill coming down the pike, Johnny. I'll tell you that much.
There's a what bill?
There's a bigger bill coming down the pike. I'll tell you that much.
Uh-oh. All right. Yeah, so Raven Chow needs all the help he can get. So, So there's that. And then also, if you guys shop on Amazon, I know most of you do, head on over to trickortreatradio.com, scroll down, look for the Amazon logo, click it. It's going to bring you to Amazon. And MZ, what just dropped today or maybe a day ago, I can't remember, it just came out, was the DVD/Blu-ray of Psycho Goreman. So let's say you want to buy Psycho Goreman. Head on over to trickortreatradio.com, click on the Amazon link, bring you right to Amazon. It's going to input our affiliate link. And then when you purchase Psycho Goreman or anything else, it uses our link. It doesn't cost them any extra, Raven Shadow.
Well, it's another way to help keep the lights on.
That's right. So if you want to buy Psycho Goreman or anything else, you can use our link to do so. We get a tiny little cut. Doesn't cost you an extra. Any extra. An extra. You know what I mean. Finally, on trickortreatradio.com, there is a store. You click it, it's going to bring you to the store, and there you can buy the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio, volumes 1 through 3. We have all the highlights, the lowlights, the midlights, everything in between, the arguments, the interviews, all that good stuff. So give it a look and check it out. And if you haven't been around for the entirety of our 8+ years, is that right? Yeah, I always get confused.
Jeez.
Yeah, we're getting close to 9. We're getting close to 9 in July. So if you haven't been around, what's up?
July or August?
July 31st
July.
is when we dropped our first episode ever.
Shit.
So for anyone who has not been around for the whole thing, check out those greatest hits. It's a great way to kind of, check in on some of the older shows. You can hear all of us. And also Mars is featured pretty prominently on those as well. So if you haven't heard Mars on the show, or if you haven't heard him much, there's probably a couple songs. Do you guys remember Sex Criminals?
Oh, it's fucking so
Oh,
good.
good.
I think that's on there. So
Tiny White.
Tiny White.
was in-
Yep. So, yep, Psychopatrick. Lots of good stuff. So give those a look. All right, Raven Shadow, you sit down to watch The Vigil. I got to hear this. What the fuck do you do to prepare to sit down and watch this movie?
I was having fucking Johnny, like real fucking anxiety, like fucking DEFCON fucking 12 anxiety. You know why?
DEFCON Comedy Jam.
DEFCON jams. I went to a bar last night. Okay.
You did?
And
What?
No. I went to. We wanted to get. We had some takeout. Get some fucking takeout, right? So we call a restaurant that does have a bar, and we called up our order. I feel, I'll go in with a mask on, my gear on, just grab it and fucking go, right? My exact change is how I do. And they were like, "Oh no, takeout you pick up in the back bar." And I'm like, "Oh," so I'm kind of like Garth Algarth now. I'm like, "Okay, I'll just go in the back bar then. This should be fine." And I come in to fucking buy. It's fucking St. fucking Patrick's Day. What the fuck, right? So I mean, it's fucking drinking, no mask on, green beers fucking flowing. As I'm standing there, they're like, "Yeah, your order should be out in a few minutes." They fucking lied, Johnny. Okay.
Wow.
So now I'm feeling like fucking Brody and fucking Banky and fucking Chasing Amy when they're at the bar and that like wah wah is going off like the subway fucking sounds where they know they're in danger. And I'm like, it's so fucking weird. I never wanted to get out of a bar more than my life. Ever in my life. You know, it's like I was fucking sober. You know what I mean? Is that what sobriety feels like? Because it sucks. But no, so I'm pretty masked up, standing upside right. But but there's one girl next to me. She's calling somebody. I just come over here. It's kind of dead, but you should come down. Everyone's fucking like no one gives a fuck. And I'd not been in a restaurant in this thing and was playing Keno, and I just fucking. I one time I tell the dude, I'm like, listen, man. Hey, I paid. I gave the dude a tip. I'm gonna stand out front, bro. I just can't. I can't be back here right now. And he was cool with that, but I had to fucking go. But I've never wanted to run away from a bar before.
Wow. Raven Shadow, you've changed, man. This is new. This is a new you.
Well, it's a pandemic. I had to be at home. But yeah, so I came back, fucking deloused everything, changed my outfit, sprayed everything down. But it was fucking anxiety, Johnny. It was fucking anxiety. Didn't like it. Wear your masks. Don't go out. Stay home. Watch the Snyder Cut. Watch Falcon Winter Soldier. Before that, check out this episode. You know what? If you check out this episode, you probably should watch The Vigil. Available on multiple platforms. So that's what I did. I had my fucking pork sandwich. I strapped on. Earmuffs, Johnny.
You go through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it.
The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories.
With your hosts, John,
Josh,
and Luke.
we have action,
horror,
and adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
Find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
A podcast for the barbarian at heart.
Thank you guys for having me on. It's a blast. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so much.
And, Trick or Treat Radio, man. That's where it's at. That's the new Fangoria Radio is Trick or Treat Radio.
Don't say that.
It's like, you really put us under.
It's like swearing in church.
You just jinxed us.
Yeah. you put a lot on our shoulders just now.
Well, we can strive for greatness.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah,
you really are. You got a great show.
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
We are back on Trick or Treat Radio, episode 451. We're going to talk about The Vigil. So, I'm trying to remember, MZ. I knew this one's been on the list for a little bit. But do you recall if this is one of the ones that you had called out when you were looking at films?
Yeah, this is one.
Okay, I had a feeling it was. Yep. So this is one that we've been looking forward to. Obviously, we had to wait a little bit because we had some other stuff that we had to do, including the Corando episode last week, and then we did Promising Young Woman before that. But but I've been looking forward to this one. I hadn't watched the trailer or anything like that, and but I did. Usually, what I do is I'll put the trailer on for T-Dog to see if it's a film that she might be interested in watching with me. And so about 15 seconds into the trailer, she's like, she's like, all right, stop. I want to watch this. Like, you know, like if it's something she wants to watch, she'll like stop it, like at the point where she's like, okay, yes, I want to see this. So because she hates trailers too, because they typically give so much away. But yeah, we only get about 15 seconds into this trailer. She's like, yep. So that's all I saw of the trailer. So I don't know anything other than that about the trailer. But obviously I knew the synopsis and I knew kind of what it's about. So that was sort of the starting point for me. So let me run through some of the info here, and then we'll dive in. So The Vigil was originally, I think, screened in festivals in 2019. I recall seeing some people post about this from, I think, Fantasia or TIFF. I don't remember. It may have been both or one or the other. I think TIFF was the one that I saw people posting about, which is the Toronto International Film Festival. So that it got some festivals in 2019, but got its official release here in the States in 2021. It is rated PG-13, which you don't see very often for horror movies, which I thought was kind of interesting. It is 89 minutes long, and it is written and directed by Keith Thomas. And this is a directorial debut, a feature film directorial debut. He has done one short previous to this, and it must have been on the strength of this film because the director, Keith Thomas, is attached to the remake of Firestarter.
There's a remake of Firestarter coming out, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's a pretty big jump.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Firestarter. I thought it was kind of boring. I don't see how it could get any worse. I might check it out.
So far, the only person so there's two people who have been cast, but the only one I recognize is Zac Efron has been cast in it.
Oh, Ted Bundy.
Yes, and also Michael Grey Eyes, who obviously is a native actor, and he was also in that movie Blood Quantum that we did last year.
Yeah. Oh, was he like the son of the sheriff? Was that the guy?
I forget. He is also in Fear the Walking Dead. I've never seen that though.
Yeah. I don't know who has.
Yeah, I don't know what character he was, but yeah, that's kind of cool. So good for Keith Thomas. It seems like on the strength of The Vigil, he was getting some more work now. So we'll talk about it and see if it's warranted to get that jump. The film stars Dave Davis, Malky Goldman, Lynn Cohen, Manash Lustig, and let's see. The other ones are just kind of bit parts, and Ronald Cohen as Ruben Litvak, the dead guy. But we do get to see a little bit of him in some videos and stuff. But the synopsis for this one: a man providing overnight watch to a deceased member of his former Orthodox Jewish community finds himself opposite a malevolent entity. All right. So first thing I wanted to mention is about this film has a lot of cultural touchstones, meaning it touches on Hasidic Judaism, and I was born Jewish. My mother's Jewish, and I did go to like Hebrew school until I was like in like second grade, and then I just decided religion just wasn't for me at the time. So it just was something that I just didn't do anymore after that. So I have a little bit of knowledge, but I'd actually never heard of. I don't know much about Hasidic or Orthodox traditions. So for me, this was something that I was not really all that familiar with. So I did have some knowledge about what was happening, but I do know that death is sort of a a thing that is treated with care and respect in Jewish religion. So, for instance, as we see in this with the character of Yaakov, and we'll dive a little bit more into the plot, but he is in this basically sitting and watching the body to make sure that nothing happens to it, no evil gets to it, or just making sure that its soul can rest peacefully until it's taken away to be buried, basically. I'm trying to remember the Shomer. How do you say it? Shomer.
Shomer.
Shomer, yeah.
I think it's well, it sounded like a long A, so it might have been Shamer.
Shimer, yeah.
Shimer.
I'm not. I don't know Yiddish very well. I just know like a few things here and there that like I picked up from my grandparents or whatever. But anyways, that's sort of his job here is to kind of watch over it. The one that I did know, and I've been a part of, having family members, Jewish family members that had passed away, is there such a thing as it's called sitting Shiva, and I think you guys actually probably participated in it when.
Yeah, we did. I remember when I remember that I did with you. I forget which relation was that passed on, but
it was because I don't remember which one, but both my both my grandparents passed, and I remember having Shiva at my mom's house. So, and basically it's 7 days of I think Shiva actually I think means 7 if I'm not mistaken, and it's basically that you're not alone for 7 days, like just to kind of work through your grief and your sadness and all that. Like people come to you, they bring you food, they bring you camaraderie and just having someone to be there, and that way you can kind of like tell stories about the person and kind of celebrate their life and not do it in being alone. So it's kind of I think it's kind of an interesting tradition. And I think it's important, a lot of times people deal with grief and sadness in isolation, and I think that, not saying which is better or worse, but I think that can work for some people, and maybe other people prefer to have people around them when that happens, So anyways, just kind of pointing out that it is something in the Jewish tradition that death is sort of a thing that's treated with reverence and support, So, and there's. Go ahead, Raven Shadow. Yeah.
I remember going at your mom's house. Talking to your cousin for quite a bit. And is there also a thing where you don't want to have like mirrors and you don't like groom too? And forgive me for being maybe ignorant.
Well,
but was where you're not supposed to look at yourself in a groom.
And also, I don't remember the entire tradition, but I think you're right. I think, if I recall correctly, I think you're supposed to cover up mirrors during that time period. If you remember that, then that's probably accurate. I don't remember everything, so. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, actually, I'm reading here. Yeah, homes are required to cover mirrors from the time an individual dies. So yeah, so it is a thing. You remember that accurately. So required to cover mirrors from the time an individual dies until the end of the Shiva. So for 7 days, you cover the mirrors. And anyways, there's a lot of tradition around that. So I wasn't familiar with the concept of as they mentioned in the film, a shoimer. That's how you say it. But so that is something that it's a big part of this film is Yaakov's character, who is doing that duty in this. The other thing I wanted to bring up is, so it wasn't super clear in the beginning because it's only sort of like danced around, but Yaakov was you can kind of ascertain it from what happens in the film, but he was a Hasidic Jew who was kind of coming out of that and kind of being kind of reintegrating into normal society, I guess, in a sense, because being an Orthodox or a Hasidic Jew is you have to follow the old traditions, and it's it can be cumbersome for some people, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I've never known anyone who did that. So, but in kind of reading a little bit about it is one of those things that is, in a sense, I'm not going to say it's like the Amish people, but it's similar where you have traditions that are very old school that you need to follow. Whereas being like a Reformed Jew or just a regular Jew is a lot more sort of liberal. Like you don't have to follow a lot of these old traditions,
And I was getting a little bit of a misdirection vibe because we open up with maybe a flashback scene, and then it continues to the group of probably 20-somethings all kind of sitting around a table, and you get the vibe they were in like a weird, like not weird, but like a support group.
Yep.
And it seemed like they were ones that broke out from maybe this, and the impression I got was more cult-like. And once again, more cult-like and religion, that could be an oxymoron depending on your point of view. I mean, I was raised Catholic, but it wasn't a really overpowering thing. I stopped going to catechism, I almost said what we called it as kids, but CCD, for a great reason, was because G.I. Joe Season 2 was on, and Serpentor was running Cobra Island, and we didn't VRs those days. And I'm like, well, fucking Serpentor was running amok. I need to be walking home watching that. And I told my mom that. She was like, all right, whatever, just do well in school. She didn't really fight me for it. I was never. I was baptized. I had my first communion, but I was never confirmed because religion always scared me as a kid. The whole Lord, Master, and Kneel thing. I never was my bag. But I got the impression that maybe these are more of a survivor group of a more, more menacing cult. Was my first impression. Did anyone get that? Like,
they weren't a cult. They were trying to mold the Jewish religion into their own likings. There are so many different branches of the Jewish religion. They were trying to mold the Orthodox Jews into what they thought they should be. And in any society, you have that group of youths that try to do that. And that's what this was. They viewed that I forget his name, the individual that they met on the outside, who was still very much Orthodox. They viewed him as the enemy because of how he was.
That was
even though he wasn't.
I was just going to say his name is Reb Shulam.
Shulam, yes. Yeah. It was he was portrayed almost as a villain before you even got to know him. They really put you on the defensive towards him right from the get-go.
Yeah, don't come back here. I'll call the cops again. He's like, hey, if you want to talk to him, I'm right inside, dude. Don't fuck with him. But like the main character, just engage in the conversation with him. And I thought it was interesting in there talking with the group about how some days it's hard to decide, do you pay for a meal or do you pay for medication? What is what do you skimp on? And were they really living better life outside of this group or this collective, however you want to call it?
Sorry, I was eating a Cliff Bar. I was hoping one of you guys would jump in. Yeah, actually, I had actually forgotten Aries. Your wife is, if you don't, is it okay to?
Yeah,
no.
Yes, yeah.
Your wife is Jewish as well. I forgot about that. So, did she grow up going to temple, or do you know?
She actually, because she is actually half Jewish, half Irish. There's a mix for you.
Same with me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
So she actually grew up kind of observing both Jewish and Catholic religions. So she's had like a mixed bag throughout her whole life. So I've kind of been exposed to a lot of this. I am by no means an expert. I have to look up some of the stuff as after the movie just to refresh with certain things.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, you're not in the dark completely, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, see, I knew nothing about the entanglement between Orthodox and Hasidims. I knew nothing about that. So when I saw that the tension between the group leader, whatever his name was, who was with Yakov against Reb, I was kind of taken aback by the whole, anger between the two. Well, anger between the guy that Yakov was with against Reb. I knew nothing about any kind of entanglement between the two. Not that I think all Jewish people are the same. They're not. That's why you got Hasidims. That's why you got Orthodox. But I didn't know that there was like a tension between the two groups. So I was kind of thrown off a little bit by that. But knowing this now, it makes a little bit more sense.
And I find it, I don't know why, like I was looking through the cast afterwards and seeing everyone's, seeing all the cast members, and I'm like, okay, like, yeah, we got, looking at the last names, we got Lustig, we got Cohen, we got Goldman, Rabinowitz, and then Dave Davis, like, who is the lead?
Dangerous Davy Davis.
Yeah, who is the lead? Yakov, and I mean, obviously, like Smith isn't. There's other names out there that are definitely not Jewish. You can be Jewish and not have a typical Jewish name, but it's just kind of funny seeing, all the other Jewish names, and then Dave Davis. But anyways, yeah. So we start off. We kind of talked a little bit about it. There is, this meeting of the sort of reformed kind of support group of people, just kind of like just making sure that everyone's okay and checking in. And then we have Yakov meets Sarah. I don't know if they had met before.
Yeah.
I got the impression that maybe they didn't really know each other very well. But Sarah basically asks him out if he wants to go out and get some coffee or just, hang out sometime, and gives Yakov her number. And then Yakov, when he leaves the meeting, that's when we have Reb Shulam is waiting outside for him. And he basically asks him, we jump right into things, and he basically asks him if he would, he knows that he's looking, that he's hard up for money, and he's looking for somebody who could do this job for him, be a shomer, and just kind of sit in someone's house for 5 hours. That's all he needs to do, and he kind of negotiates a higher price because he doesn't really want to do it, and he does also really need the money, so it kind of works out in everyone's favor here. And he goes, and then Reb Shulam brings him to the location, and there we meet Mrs. Litvak, played by Lynn Cohen, and she is a woman who seems to maybe have, he mentions dementia. She, immediately doesn't like Yakov and says, basically, like, we don't want him, like, we don't want him here, or he's not welcome. And Reb kind of convinces Mrs. Litvak to go to bed, and then Yakov ends up kind of sticking around and doing the job anyways. There is, so I want to, obviously we'll tiptoe around some spoilery type stuff. I think there's a good deal that we could talk about here without giving too much away, but there is some stuff that will be very difficult to tiptoe around. But this is, in a sense, I wanted to kind of call this out because we see a lot of Catholic exorcism films, right? We've seen, that's typically what you see, is like a Catholic exorcism. We saw, we've seen The Exorcist, we've seen The Conjuring, we've seen all these movies that have a typical sort of like Catholic look through a Catholic lens. This is the first time I can recall. We have seen the movie Demon, so that is sort of in this vein a little bit. But this one felt different to me than Demon, and this one felt more like kind of like, I wouldn't call it an exorcism film, but it was more in that sort of vein where we had some of the tropes of that. And it definitely is maybe not the first of its kind, but one of like has to be like only like a handful of kind of Jewish demonic possession films, right? Can you guys think of any others?
Well, it's funny you say that, Johnny, because I kept thinking about the fucking the Christmas kind of debacle we watched.
Hosts?
The Advent Calendar movie.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah. Death December.
You know,
yeah.
And there was the one, Hanukkah-based one.
Yeah,
that one, yeah.
And that came up a conversation where we don't see a lot of those pictures. You know what I mean? We've seen plenty of Japanese horror, but we've seen Japanese essentially doing Catholic exorcism type stuff. But I can't recall a lot of Jewish-based, horror flicks. So I thought that was, and there's some great stuff there. There's some great mythology there. I mean, most of my Jewish like mythology comes from comic books, like stuff like that.
Jesus Christ.
But that's just, I was fucking Catholic. What are you gonna do? I'm not practicing Catholic. I don't. Spoiler alert. Don't believe in God. Sorry. Unless his last name is Kirby. And oddly enough, he's Jewish too. So what are you gonna fucking do?
Well, there was the Christmas horror film Hanukkah that came out either last year.
I'm sorry.
Did you
really?
say the Christmas
you're gonna
film
go
Hanukkah?
Yeah.
Huh?
You said the Christmas film Hanukkah.
Oh, well, you know it. Holiday film Hanukkah, the Jewish holiday film Hanukkah. Did I say that? I didn't even realize.
You did.
You did.
Okay. All right. The
Happy
Christmas film
Shaka
Hanukkah.
Khan monsters there.
But I did catch the idea of, Exorcist did float across my mind but purely from a character standpoint, because you have Yakov, who is basically the Damien Karras of the film.
Yeah, I can see that.
Who lost he feels like he lost his faith due to something that happened not too long ago, where it kind of messed with his mind, and so he fell out of his religious order. And in a time when he needs that back to for lack of a better term, defeat the demon, he rises to the occasion. Does he succeed? We don't know. But it's just like Damien Karras. He needed, he lost his faith, and then when he's called in to be with Father Merrin to perform an exorcism, that's when he realizes he has his faith back in him, and you can see it happen in the film, and tries to help out Regan McNeil. So there is some parallels between Damien Karras in The Exorcist and Yakov in this film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would definitely say that. This is a more personal film in terms of about the main character Yakov than that was. So there are a lot of differences. In no way are we saying that this is like like aping on The Exorcist, but there are some similarities that, but there's also, I really like how they play with the echoes. Raven Shadow. Every time you fuck with it,
we get an echo.
All right, we got to do
that. Somebody, we need to get an echo.
Echo.
And you say that right into the table. There you go.
Raven Chat, when you touch it, it echoes. I'm just letting you know.
Haven Shadow, stop touching shit.
Don't.
All right, I won't.
Go back to your Catholic school days and stop touching things. Stop touching yourself.
Yep.
And just.
I'm sorry.
All right. So I forget what I was going to say now, but damn it.
Well, I mean, to kind of what MZ was saying, though, the similarities, I think it differs because this isn't based on his faith. It's kind of, it doesn't really necessarily matter when all's said and done. When it the explanation as to why it's happening, it's faith has nothing to do with it. It's location.
Well, I do think faith has something to do with it. I won't go as far as MZ did, but I do think that it's more than just religious faith. I think there's faith in himself, and sort of visiting the idea of getting over grief and holding on to guilt and what that can do. So I do think that it is faith in himself, but what gets him, I feel what gets him through, and this may be lost on some of you guys because I didn't even know, but I had to find out there's something that happens later on in the movie. I'm not going to say, kind of where, in what part that it happens, but he uses... towards the end of the film, let me just pull up the names. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing them correctly. So he uses the tefillin and the shema. I think I'm pronouncing those correctly. And what they are is the tefillin are small leather boxes that carry scrolls that are fastened to leather straps that Jewish men wrap around their arms and head at the morning and evening prayers. So there's a scene in this movie where that comes into play. It was a very dark scene, and it was very difficult to see what was going on. I will say that. But there's a scene in the movie where he uses religious iconography, and it was almost like when someone is going to fight a demon and they get like a cross and holy water. That's kind of the equivalent. The Jewish equivalent, I guess, if you will. So that's why I do think I think this movie is multidimensional. So I will agree with you, Aries, that you can look at it in a couple different ways. But I also think MZ is right. I think that faith is what gets him through. But in it, I think he finds faith in himself. And this isn't giving too much away. I think it's kind of one of the main sort of bylines throughout the film. But I do feel, and especially what happens towards the end, it's not like he went back to his old ways. I'm trying to tiptoe around this without giving too much away. But yeah, I will say that I think faith is a part of it.
I mean, I'm not going to say it's not a part of it, but I'm not going to say it's a necessary part of it.
Yeah,
I think it helped him, but he went through the religious steps, but I don't think, if I was in that situation, I needed to go through those religious steps to do what he did.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you can look at it. I mean, I think that's the beauty is you can put yourselves in this character. I think Yakov was a very relatable character, regardless of your beliefs.
Oh, huge! And I mean, like once again, I'm not a religious person, but I like traditions. I like.
That's why we do the fucking strap on every week.
Yeah, no, I like things. You know what I mean? I like things I get used to. You know what I mean? But I like traditions and I like respect. And I think the idea of, and my understanding of it is, I'm assuming that when someone passes, the next day is when the kind of coroners come in. But there's a thing where someone has to probably wait with the body to protect it from evil spirits, maybe, or to make sure they get to the next realm. So on one hand, watching it, I'm like, oh, you're just gonna leave like a dead body in your house? That's kind of weird, but I like that being in the sentinel role of watching over someone.
That's a very old school thing to do.
Yeah, because they
Not
don't
necessarily a Jewish thing. That is just very old school.
Is it okay? So I'm not familiar with that custom.
I mean, because the Orthodox Jews are a very old school religion. They follow what happened many years ago. Multiple religions would do that. The body would lay and rest in the home.
Yeah, and it wouldn't, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the body would not be embalmed and be buried the following day. Is that correct?
That is, with the Jewish religion, yes.
Okay, I thought so.
Well, and one thing that T-Dog pointed out to me while we're watching this is, this used to be a normal practice before. I might have been the Victorian era. That was very normal for like a body to be in a house until it was ready to be taken away. That's why when they call it a funeral parlor, it used to be in your actual parlor. Yeah. So it's still a fairly relatively new thing. So yes, this is absolutely kind of an old school thing.
And I dig that. I mean, maybe you could even like have a squad doing that and be like, "Yo,
squad."
Yeah, like have a crew be like, "Yo,
the Sitting Shiva League of America," right?
Yeah, and be like, "Yo, Aries was fucking dope. He had a big beard, and he got me into smoking cigarettes."
You'll never let that go, will you?
No, but I'm saying like I don't want Aries to die. If he was the one, and we like all three of us were watching over him, we could tell awesome Aries stories. You know what I mean? That could be fun.
He's not the one that's gonna die first.
You know what? You're onto something, Raven Shadow. Someone should come up with a building that we send our dead to, that everyone can go and mourn for them in this certain building. You're into $1 million idea right now.
You are.
Yeah, you should.
And
we'll get this going.
We'll get a big yard where we can like fucking not, build anything on or plant crops, and we'll just put ourselves in that. That'll help everyone out.
And you know what? I think you should have this all planned out and put it on your phone, and we'll get Sarah from the movie to help you with that. Okay?
No,
because if it's one thing that you and Yakov have in common, is that you don't know how to use a goddamn phone.
You thought that too when at the beginning there?
Yeah.
Had to hand his phone to someone else and put your number in there.
I'll put my
know how
number.
to text, right?
I could just imagine when that scene hit and Raymond Shadow's thinking, "Oh shit, they're gonna talk about me, aren't they?"
No. To be fair, but no, the intimacy. To me, it's like no. You just watch your fucking boy, or you watch your fucking grandfather. You'd be a century, and be like, "Yo, no fucking evil spirits are getting up in here, son." You know what I mean?
What?
Oh, you burn some rosemary, incense, and peppermint or whatever the fuck, and smoke some butts, to keep the demons at bay. Draw us like a pentagram on the fucking ground to keep the fucking, maybe not a pentagram. That's probably bad, but like that was incantations, like candles.
What are you talking about?
Who knows?
Watching over someone that passed. If I'm the night watchman, if I'm the
drawing the floor.
Yeah, but I would do like John Constantine. I would like have like spells and stuff. I would like
He's
stuff.
not talking to me if I die.
All right. Okay.
I'll watch you
Yakov. All right. So Yakov, he's overlooking the body of Mr. Litvak. Litvak. What's his name?
Litvak. Yeah.
Litvak. Okay. And just to look over the body, and he's paid a certain amount of money to do this, and Mrs. Litvak is at the house, and like we said, doesn't want him there, but he stays anyway. there's a discussion that these two have in the kitchen that that I thought was really, really good. And let me just say the performances here were also really quite good as well. I think the character of Mrs. Litvak, the actress who played her, I thought was particularly good in this film. But Yakov seems to be suffering from some kind of mind fuck, like he sees things, he hears things, he's not sure if they're there or not. And then the one scene where he ends up going into the basement and there's video playing of Mr. Litvak, Mr. Litvak with Mrs. Litvak in the background. And he's talking about demons and this one particular Jewish demon called the
Mezek.
Mezek,
yeah.
Mezek.
It's not too dissimilar from, if I'm not mistaken, in the film Demon, it was a Dybbuk.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. And there's the possibility that this Mezek is messing around with Mr. Litvak. So there's that one great scene where he's calling his doctor.
Oh, it's great. It's awesome.
No, it's a great scene.
He said it was. He said it's awesome.
Yeah, did you hear how he said it?
Oh God! Well, let's not. I mean, let's.
Oh, we're not spoiling anything. There's nothing being spoiled. But let's just say that there's a good amount of tension in this film. I imagine that the religious order has to keep the lights very, very dim, and that's the reason why this movie is very, very dark.
No, it's just fucking midnight. He's there from 12 to 5.
I understand it's midnight, but you could have a couple of lights on. I figure that there's just a couple candles lit because of the religious aspect of what's going on.
Plus, things are explained if you pay attention in the movie.
Yeah, and the Alzheimer's woman doesn't want the dude here, so he's probably be on the down low.
All right. Well, I mean, I remember her not wanting him there, but you could have a lamp on.
Were you paying attention when you're watching this?
No, of course not.
Of course not. Well, you weren't because you know why it's so fucking dark in the movie.
Fuck. Well, that one scene, yeah.
I like too that our main character wasn't the first choice, and there were others that wouldn't. So it's like when he's doing the deal, he's like, "Wait a minute, I don't want to fucking do this. You came to me, dude." Like, kind of shit. And I thought this movie did very well use of technology.
Yeah, I know that's a thing, right? With films is when you have when you have a smartphone or whatever, like it's impossible to not be able to call the police or call for help, But this played right into it and really fucked with him in using his technology against him.
It was used for horror, like it just.
That scene where he was watching himself like sleeping, that was fucking scary. That was good.
Yeah, there was some stuff here where it actually utilized technology to make it. Maybe this movie might not have had the same impact if you didn't have those scenes.
Yeah, no, I agree with that for sure.
And some of the camera work was really, really interesting. There was some good panning. There was some really interesting panning shots in this movie.
Yeah.
And almost to the point. I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, but it looked like it had like a walleye vision sort of thing going on. Very, very, very slight. But when the camera's panning over, the edges of the screen kind of like it's weird. It's kind of like it goes like this, then it goes into the middle of the screen, and then it kind of like fades back out on the other side of the screen. It's kind of like a walleye vision sort of thing that was going on, and a couple of panning shots that were really interesting. I thought the camera work in this film was really good at times. Other times it felt like it was really dark, a little too dark, but some of the strategy behind some of the camera work here, especially the panning shots, were really interesting to watch.
And especially in such a small location, right? In a house, like you would think that maybe you might be limited by the shots you can do, but I feel like the shots in this were really good, and it added a lot for the tension. And I also feel the score and the audio design was really well done. There is some jump scares in this, but I feel like they're not like just for the sake of jump scares. Like I feel like it's all earned, you know, like so I think that a lot of things worked really well together in this, you know, definitely in good harmony.
I like the jump scares they did in this movie because they were done very well. They were built up to the point, and it wasn't the audio that was the shocking point of it. The audio was added to the visual aspect of it. If there wasn't an audio, it still would have been shocking. It was both combined that added to the made the whole thing complete. But the score I thought was a little over the top at times. A little too intrusive when it should have just been a little more down key, low key building where it was in your face at times. That was my only problem with the score.
The score I thought was really good. It was kind of reminiscent of the Lords of Salem. It had that loud pulsating score. I might agree with you, Aries, that in some areas that it might have been a little bit too intrusive, but for what it was, I thought in some scenes it was quite effective.
Yeah, I think that what you were saying, Aries, about the not so much jump scares, I feel like it worked well because the audio sort of like hit a crescendo as it led up to it, as opposed to like a quick stinger where it was like, you know, it was like, you know, like. So I feel like that worked well. I know jump scares can be a touchy subject with people because sometimes they're just too cheap and just done to evoke scares to ratchet up the tension. But jump scares don't ratchet up tension for me. It's the gradual build, and I feel that this film does it well.
Jump scares, when done correctly, add so much to a movie, and this movie did them correctly.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. And I'm just going to lay it on the line. I think the performance here by Dave Davis is I think it's masterful. There's some scenes, especially the scene when it's towards the end before he goes upstairs. He's holding on to the sheet and kind of coming to terms with what had happened in his past. Do you guys know the scene I'm talking about? He's like caressing a figure under the sheet. That scene was so powerful, and like I felt, you know, the dude's hugging a sheet, and he's like making me feel that he's really going, you know, he's really living out these like you know, deep-seated emotions that have been with him for who knows how long, right? Years probably. And I just thought, like, all along, like, he just played this really well. And this is a film that he is on screen, 98% of the time? If his performance doesn't click, this film does not work. But I think he really elevates this film with his work because I just think it's a great performance. It was so kind of understated in a sense, where he was never over the top, but was the right amount of emotion. I think you really kind of cared for the character of Yakov, you know? Like, that's the impression I got. I don't know if you guys all agree with that, but I feel he fucking nailed it.
No, I love the character. I love the character kind of from the jump. And I think he was a great viewers like entry level into this world. I loved his conversations with the doctor, and as it kind of ramped up to what was going on, I just thought he was truly fascinating. And I'm not familiar with any work he's done prior, but I would definitely be down to what this dude does next, because put him on the fucking Disney Plus, give him something. Be great.
Another area that I thought was really quite good and effective was the Foley work on this film, particularly the crunching of bone.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe stiff muscles, whatever it was supposed to be. I don't know what it was supposed to be, but whatever it was effective, because every time I heard it, I just winced. It just didn't feel right. It sounded awful. It didn't feel right at all. And it worked. Whatever it was supposed to be.
To a point it worked, and then there was a scene where it just became over the top.
I think I know which scene you're talking about.
They just kind of like, hey, this is working really good. Let's just go all in. And I just think it was just they dialed it up to 11, and it didn't need to go there for that scene.
I know which one. I know which scene you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know what scene you guys are talking about. But yeah, that scene when he woke up from the nap, and then his bones were like, like when we first heard that, like cracking. That was pretty fucking. It was a little over the top, but it was effective. There was also the scene when he drinks the water, when he drops the glass. I thought was also very effective.
Oh yeah.
And when he's down in the basement, there's just a lot of effective scenes, and I really love once he goes upstairs. A lot of the stuff that happened there was really kind of powerful, and I love the way they did that walk down the hallway while he's holding the candle, as you guys can see like. It was difficult because it was really dark, but it's very subtle. But the walls kind of moving, like.
Yeah, like out of Roman Polanski's Repulsion. That was another movie I was going to bring up.
Yeah,
was Repulsion.
I'm trying to think what else we can talk about here without giving too much away. I actually really dug it was. I mean, she was only on screen for maybe like 2 minutes, but I liked the integration of the character of Sarah. Even though she wasn't on screen much, her presence said a lot about Yakov and how he deals with people. And even the way that he interacted with her at the end was a very stark comparison to how he dealt with her earlier. How he was sort of communicating with her. So I
correct. I got the impression that they were in group for a while, and then
could be
this time, maybe like almost like a semester at a college where they were in the same room, and she asked him out, and drink coffee. I don't drink coffee. Well, then motherfucking tea, son. Like fucking, we'll get fucking crumpets. Whatever the fuck you want to do, we'll do.
Crumpets.
Yeah, but don't like stuff. If you don't like coffee, go for coffee and get fucking, iced tea or something. Just say you're gonna go, dude. But to get him out of his shell, because she's obviously seemed to be away from that world longer than he is. She's more of a veteran. I got the impression of, and obviously her experiences wasn't his experience. I'm sure they all brought something different to the table. There was even some folks that were still wearing the more traditional garb.
Yeah.
Of that sex. So everyone, I'm sure, it was surprising to me not to see some of those characters again. But I like that team. And that team could have been like a sitcom on like, you know what I mean? Like,
you really want this to be a fucking the Super Shalom team or something? What the fuck?
Dude, just be friends.
Oh my god.
I miss being in apartments having wine. It sucks.
Yeah, see, you're just getting loopy because of the pandemic.
I'm fucked up. You have no fucking idea.
Raven Shadow, how about the Super Shalom Squad?
Yeah. Maybe not. Yeah, there's a joke there, but yeah, no, like Team Shalom.
Or maybe I can't remember how to pronounce it. Shomer, the Super Shomer Squad. Shomer. That's it. Thank you. Shomer.
These are the Shomer friends.
Oh my god.
But that would be great. They would have mysteries, give them a dog, and they would all watch over a dead person every week. And maybe one would be like a mummy. One could be like
Oh, Jesus, dude, will you shut the hell up?
You just did Shomer friends in the fucking Super Friends voice.
He did. He definitely did. The Shomer friends.
Yeah, I'm not doing the bit. You're setting me up. You're fucking setting me up. You asshole. I'm not fucking doing it. I'm not fucking doing it. Meanwhile, at the Temple of Justice, that's fine.
Temple of Justice.
I could say that, Wolfie, right?
Yeah. Oh shit. What is the
Set up steel Shomer man?
What is the what would be the villain squad be? The Legion of Legion of Mezix or something?
Nazis.
Oh, all right. Well, I was kind of talking in regard to this movie, but I guess that's also accurate.
Yeah. Looks like you had to go there, huh?
Raven Shadow went dark. Okay.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I was trying to avoid going dark.
Really? Nazis? It doesn't get much darker than that.
They fucking suck. They should get beaten up. They should be everyone's villain. I want the Powerpuff Girls versus Nazis. I want everyone versus Nazis. They're a bunch of dicks. All right.
All right.
Justice and all mankind. These are the Shomer friends.
Jesus. Oh man.
Shomer man with like the Star of David, where the S would be on his
Once again, you gotta. I think we had it, and then we lost it. I think we gotta reel it back in.
Right.
What did we have? What did we have?
Yeah, what did we have?
I'm kind of surprised. There's got to be something like that out there. There has to be.
Nope.
Underground comic book or whatever. There has to be.
I think we peaked at the Temple of Justice, but that's
All right. So, is there anything else about this film that we haven't brought up yet? I know we've kind of run the gamut, but not everything. So maybe there's something else you guys wanted to talk about. What about the? I guess, for lack of a better word, the Mezek. What did you think of what we saw of it?
Very minimal.
Yes, very much so.
It felt very minimalistic. This is not an effects heavy film. Far from it. You do get a few special effects, but nothing overpowering. Nothing that this film has to rely on it. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I'll answer for you. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll just agree with what Aries says then. I mean that because
rules to live by. Rules to live by.
Because I really don't know. I mean, it's an extremely minimalist demon that we're talking about here. You don't get to see much of it, and when you do, it's very it's explained. The description of the demon itself is explained in the film, so I don't want to give too much of that away. But yeah, maybe it is a good thing. I don't know. I was still kind of on the fence about this and how they treated the Mezek in this film.
So the things I liked about it, the things that you see are the fingers, right? Those are very, very prevalent. And then also the turned around head.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. This is something that T-Dog also brought up. I don't want to take credit for the smart things that she says. But I don't know if this is part of what the Mezek is or if this is just an observation that she had, but it's sort of like as the poster says, it wants your pain, and that's kind of like kind of a big important thing about this. And the thing about the Mezek is its head is turned back, in a sense, always looking behind, like looking in your past, right? So I thought that was kind of an astute observation is what I'm trying to say.
That line really like got me. I like that. I like that little bit of business.
Yeah.
And in fact, it reminded me, Johnny, I think you were reading Nightwing in that time. Remember when he was fighting that guy that one of his villains has neck like twisted by Blockbuster? The big kind of like it's like a Hulk kind of villain, but then he had like a neck piece, and that was his gimmick. Was that his head it could have been broken, but it was turned around enough where he was looking behind, and that was kind of his gimmick. It was a weird,
I think so.
Kind of villain, the old like I think Chuck Dixon, Scott McDaniel, early Nightwing run. But it brings forth a great visual. But no, that looking behind, I think was a good gimmick for a demon. And if that's in the mythology or if that's in the folklore, or that's what I find interesting about taking a different religion. You know, I think the crosses are fucking done, man. We've done it. You know, thank you, Jesus. But let's bring some new fucking mythology and religion to these kind of stories. Might shake up the status quo. I would find that more interesting that we're not familiar with, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I can get on. I can get with that. All right, so I guess if there's nothing else pressing, we will head to the verdict on this one.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, it is verdict time. We're going to let you know whether this film, The Vigil, was a trick or a treat. Any final thoughts we may have? Let's start with MZ.
The setting in this film is very disturbing. I mean, you're in an old house. You know, religious responsibilities aside, I mean, you're in this house. You got a dead body in front of you, and you got an old woman upstairs, and some creepy shit is going on. You know, I mean, just on that alone, this film handles it really, really well. Throw the religious aspect into it, and it becomes a much deeper film, a much more important film, I guess you could say, almost not entirely on the same line as The Exorcist as far as the character of Yakov is concerned. The tension is at times goes very high, goes up to 10. There are some jump scares in here that work very, very well. Some when you least there's when you least expect it and when you expect it. But either way, because of the dark setting that you're in for 90 minutes, anything can happen. So I think the performances in here are very, very good. I think the best performance in here, yes, Davis gets a nod. I think the one who plays Mrs. Litvik had the best stuff. She was just amazing in this movie. There were moments in here where I thought, damn, she's good. I did love the score, a little overdone maybe, like Aries said, not effects heavy, and I don't know if I'm really satisfied about the ending though. I think the ending is a bit of a dud in my eyes. I was expecting maybe something a little bit more grandiose, probably. This one has a very laid back ending as far.
This movie definitely is a very enjoyable movie to watch. If you like the, I'm not going to say psychological. This movie it is the perfect PG-13 horror movie. If you've ever had a problem with PG-13 horror, you need to watch this movie and realize that you don't need blood and guts to have an outstanding PG-13 horror movie. It is all psychological in this movie. This movie will send chills down your spine. There were times where I legitimately got chills watching this movie. I knew what was going to happen. I knew the punchline to some of these things. It still gave me chills. There are some old tropes they throw at you in this movie, but it still gives you chills the way they do it. As far as the ending goes, as MZ said, it is not a spectacular ending. It is a little lackluster, but I think that kind of plays into the whole movie. I thought I had this movie figured out within the first half of the movie, and I was wrong. This movie went a different direction. They led me to believe one thing was going to happen, and they went somewhere else, and that made it even more enjoyable. This movie is a treat. I think everyone needs to watch this movie. It's a treat. Just watch the fucking movie. Thank you.
Thank you for coming to Aries' TED Talk.
Yeah.
That's what it says on the box. Just watch this fucking movie.
Right.
Just watch the fucking movie.
Movie. All right, Raven Shadow.
No, I mean, I'll try to keep it short. I mean, I agree with my compatriots. I thought one thing, got another, and I was happy with what I received. We watched a lot of pictures in the last year or so that would take classic tropes, whether it be a haunted house, demonic possession, ghost stories, change a few things here or there, and it can be kind of a fresh take on what could be said is, some tired genres. And I think this did that. And I think changing up the religion aspect can make things fresh. So I would love to see more of this kind of stuff. The denouement was slightly, but I think it still worked for the picture. And if I say it was slightly lackluster, I don't know what I would have wanted. So apparently the director did fine. Great cast. And yes, Mrs. Old lady who lives in a shoe. What's her name?
What?
The old woman.
Litvak.
Litvak.
She was killer.
Shot back.
Behind you. Oh man, I was scared. I was a little scared up in there.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. And actually, I'm not a very good lip reader, but T-Dog knew exactly what she was saying, and I was like, "What?" And then
oh yeah,
yeah. Did you guys pick up on were you able to read her lips in that scene?
I got a little bit nervous, Johnny.
You got nervous. You got a little nervous.
I had to put some lights on. Yeah, I was nervous. We fell asleep last night, and then Marion watched it downstairs in the basement, and I was like, "Oh, why'd you do that?" That'd be hard times, but no, I would say this is it's a treat, man. And check this out. I'm down with. I would see what these dudes do next. So yeah, treat.
These dudes. It was one dude, the director. Is that what you mean?
Well, I was what that dude does next.
All right.
And the ensemble.
All right, so for me, this is a big time treat. I really fucking love this movie. I just think it's like a perfect mix of dread, sort of a slightly original take on a traditional kind of story. It had enough on the surface, but then enough underneath the surface. And when someone can say what I'm thinking better than me, I am all for letting that person's words speak. So I actually, one of the things that helped me to understand some of the bits about this movie, especially the Scheumer, and some of the more sort of traditional Jewish relics, like the things that he ties onto himself at the end. I ended up reading a review on a site called Nightmarish Conjurings. Let me get the writer. Lindsay Traves was the author. So I'm going to use her words because I think what she says is much more eloquent than I could put it. And she says, on the surface, this film is about a struggling young man tasked with protecting himself and the soul of the dead from a demon, learning to fight the demons, both literal and figurative. But scratch just a little bit off the surface, and this is a story about guilt, inherited and intergenerational trauma, the sense of religious obligation, and finding the pure faith within oneself to unleash the outward-most strength. That summed it up perfectly for me, and is way better than I could put it. So I wanted to make sure I read that, and that's exactly what it is. And the other thing that I want to bring up about this that we didn't really talk about is representation. Once again, the author of this, Lindsay Traves, is I think from all intents and purposes, by what I can ascertain from reading the article, is Jewish, and as someone who's seen a lot of Catholic exorcist films, having the representation on screen matters, right? Like we've talked about this with other films, and that definitely that's important. And to have a film that shows like a different religion than your typical sort of what you'd see in this role was good, because it shows a different religion, and it represents different people that are in this world or in this country, and I think that is important. And also it gives us, it exposes us to other cultures and other religions and things like that, even if we have no interest. Just being exposed to them alone, I think is important. So, I thought this was really well made. I'm really excited to see what the director Keith Thomas does in the future. I think that his just the way this was shot, MZ kind of touched on it. It was really beautiful. It was really well done. Camera shots. There's a lot of really great ones, but I gotta tout the performance of Dave Davis, Dangerous Davy Davis. Great fucking performance as Yakov. He had me like all along in this movie, and his portrayal was key, was paramount to this working as well as it did, and he fucking knocked it out of the park as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, big time treat for me, and I agree. I think people should check this out. I think it's going to be on Shudder. Let me just check real quick and see if that might be a thing, because I think I saw something touting it.
One thing I did forget to mention, because it reminded me as you were talking, as far as the religious aspect of it, we get 100 Catholic exorcism films a year, and although the world is familiar with that, the religion aspect of it does get explained to a certain degree throughout these movies. Yet in this movie, some of the religious aspect that no one is familiar with just kind of gets brushed over. And I think it should have been explained a little bit, as you go into the exorcism, they explain that the demon hates the crucifix. They don't explain why Yakov is, tying the leather bands around his arm. I think you start exposing the world to the religion, and the world might be a little more acceptable to more Jewish religion-based horror movies in the future if you don't need that explanation every time.
And that's true, Aries, but I don't think it's one thing if you had an ensemble cast to play off of. So if you had someone who's like, hey, why are you doing that? Oh, I'm doing this because it's the ancient custom. But it's just him in the house. And he wouldn't have that exposition. Like, who would he tell about why he's doing that? You know what I mean?
Well, it's easy for me to sit here and say they should explain it, and it's hard for them to explain it in the movie. But I think giving it a little thought, it probably could have been explained that maybe he needs to read up, or the woman needs to explain to him how to take care of I mean, there are ways around it.
Right.
It's not,
They could use that in some
not
video.
necessarily be easy, but there are ways to do it.
All right. So I think that's going to do it. That will wrap up our discussion of The Vigil. We all liked it. Treats all around. So give this movie a look. And like I said, I don't know if it's streaming, if it's going to be streaming anywhere. It currently is not. It's available on VOD. But, definitely worth a few bucks. And, I would not be surprised to see this pop up on a streaming service in the next several months. IFC Midnight put it out here in America. So I'm not sure if they have a deal with people or with any streaming services or not. But, all right. Man, next week, there's a lot of really interesting films out there, and I'm trying to figure out which one we're going to do. But I think we'll go with this one. Let me just pull up the details here. And so next week, we'll do a film called Come True. And it is, once again, put out by IFC Midnight. And the film is directed by Anthony Scott Burns. That name's familiar. Oh, he did that movie Our House. Do you guys remember we did that movie Our House like 2 years ago, I believe? It's kind of a low budget, if I'm not mistaken, had something to do with a radio. Was that the one? A young genius accidentally invents a device that amplifies the paranormal activity within his family's house, possibly bringing back the spirits of loved ones. Remember that one?
I think so.
All right.
Yes.
Well,
Vaguely remember.
anyways, he directed that movie, and he also did a short in Holidays, which I don't think we actually did that film. But the film's called Come True, and the synopsis: a teenage runaway takes part in a sleep study that becomes a nightmarish descent into the depths of her mind and a frightening examination of the power of dreams. So we will check out Come True for next week's show. And yeah, we got a lot of good ones coming up. Some interesting ones anyways. Nothing, like hugely anticipatory like Psycho Gorman was, but still we got some good ones coming up. So looking forward to checking out Come True. And we'll do that next week. All right, we do have some voice messages. I think we got one more during the recording of the show. So let me take a look here and see what we got. I need a couple minutes. So does someone have a story or an anecdote to convey or anything?
Just once again, caught the second episode of Superman and Lois on the new CW. Totally dig it. I do have to fucking find out what time it's on in real life and DVR it, because fucking the CW app fucking has commercials like a motherfucker. Like it's like up and then commercial. Like fuck. Hey.
up and out. What's it called again? Superman and Lois?
It's Superman and Lois, which it's not the best title. It might be on Tuesdays on the CW.
Raven Chow, do you know there's a way to search to find out when shows actually air? It's not like this, nebulous sort of thing that nobody knows.
He let his subscription to TV Guide run out.
Is that true?
You watch TV, you read TV Guide, you ain't gonna watch TV. That was fucking Grandpa from the Lost Boys.
Last Boys.
The Last Boys. No, I can do the. I can go to the grid, right, and like forward to different days to see when it's on.
Forward. What's forward?
Forward.
Marriage is what brings us together.
Forward is what you do to skip commercials.
Forward. Fast forward.
You sound like a baby, MZ. What the fuck?
I want to pull some fucking cords right now because you guys sound terrible. But no, I'm enjoying the second episode of the Superman and the Lois. The Reed's dropped. Check it out.
And let me just drop a little thing on the coffin corner with Yaphet Kotto, who died a few days ago. Star of Aliens, Live and Let Die, Monkey Hustle, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. So he was 81. 81's a pretty good age, man. So yeah, it sucks to see him go. He's been all over the place. So happy trails, buddy.
Happy trails to you. We're gonna fucking sing now.
We're gonna be like at the end of a Diver Down on the Van Halen album.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. I meant to mention this earlier. It was actually like an hour ago, so I apologize, Double D. But he says, I was hoping Yakov Smirnoff would make an appearance, but it never happened.
Anytime Yakov was said, that's all I could think of was Yakov.
Yeah,
Smirnoff.
me too.
Oh, shit. All right.
Yakov Smirnoff.
I think I have the voice messages ready. Was that it, Raven Channel? Talking about Superman and Lois?
Yeah, big ups.
Big ups, you all you Clark suckers out there.
It's a fucking good show. Lois is still anemic, but she has a good. She's pretty dope in episode 2.
All right, there you go. Take Raven Channel's word for it, or don't. Whatever.
Fucking do.
All right, we do have 2 voice messages as of now. So let me see what we got. All right, well, let's hear from our boy Arkham Josh. As I turn the volume up and delay. There we go.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio guys, it's Arkham Josh here. Just calling in with my thoughts on this week's film, The Vigil. I enjoyed this film. I've heard some really good things about it. So I was looking forward to checking it out. And I thought the film had like a really good kind of tense atmosphere. The acting was good. Writing was good. It had a really interesting score. I really liked the score. And it was shot very well. A couple of really good scares. And some kind of interesting production design. So, I don't know, I liked it, and I would definitely say it's worth checking out. So I'm going to say it is a treat and a recommend. I almost went to see this maybe about a week or so ago. It was playing in one of the local theaters, but I didn't get a chance to. I kind of regret it, because I bet this film would have been really, really fun on the big screen. In the theater setting, it probably would have been extremely tense. But as it was an enjoyable watch, and like I said, a treat and a recommend. I also kind of wanted to piggyback on last week's discussions with Corando. I know it had been brought up, you guys were questioning whether or not there had been any previous Giallo-related or influenced Japanese films. And there have been a handful. And interestingly enough, the most notable that are out there are actually also examples of the pink film genre. I guess in the 70s there was a series of them with the kind of overall title like Zoom In or Zoom Up. And then it would have like kind of like a subtitle, which kind of like the Carry On films in England did. And there was 2 or 3 of those films which had kind of Giallo-esque related plots with murders and stuff like that. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but if somebody were to do a little bit of Googling, I'm sure they'd be able to figure that out if they were so inclined. And it's just definitely interesting since Maniac Driver started, by a company asking him to do one of the Pink films, and how they kind of gave the filmmakers more leeway, and in back in the 70s, is kind of the same thing happened. I'm guessing, these directors were offered to do Pink films, and they wanted to do a thriller, so they just kind of combined the two. So I don't know. I'll try to check those out at some point, but I figured I'd throw that tidbit out there. All right. I hope everything's going well for you guys. I don't know. This weather has been funny. It's nice and warm, and then it's nice and cold. So hopefully spring comes and it warms up soon. And I'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Bye.
All right, Josh. Thanks, man. Awesome to hear from you, buddy. And glad you dug the flick. And as always, Josh provides a little education, letting us know that there have been some Japanese giallo films, and there are also in the Pinku Aija genre, I guess you could say. So
yeah, you could find 4 of those films on Shudder.
Really?
Yeah,
Did you watch them?
Yes, I have. They are the what is it called? The female prisoner scorpion films. There's I think that 2 of them that I can think of right now are Female Prisoner Scorpion 41 and Female Prisoner Scorpion 701. And ironically enough, when I ran into Raven Shadow at his job over the weekend, while I was perusing his wares inside, I noticed that he happens in his store. I didn't see all the titles, but one of the titles that he has is behind a cabinet under glass of a DVD of the Japanese Pink film Sex and Fury. And I'm like,
did you know that, Raven Shadow?
Which cabinet?
Where the autographs are. The sports autographs and the celebrity autographs.
Oh, really? Up in the sports deck? Really?
Yeah.
I'll take a look at it.
There's only like maybe 7 or 8 DVDs there. And the only title that I can make out on one of them is Sex and Fury.
Do you want it?
Yeah, if you want to give it to me, sure.
You want to give it to me?
I want to see what the other titles that you have there are, though. That's the thing. Yeah.
I'll take a look. I'll clean over there.
Take a picture.
Yeah, take a picture and send it to me. You know how to do that, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Marion, but it's fine. But yeah, no, it was exciting. I love it too because I'm coming to work and I see Monzero pull up in his truck, and I'm walking by him, and he doesn't recognize me. And I love the fact that his first response is, "What are you doing here?" Well, I'm working. You know it.
Yeah.
I got my back.
Well, because I never see you on a, what was it, Saturday or Sunday that I saw you.
You came on a Saturday, but you don't go on Saturdays. You go during the week normally.
No. I show up on the weekend when I can. During the week, I'm too busy.
Doing nothing?
Doing everything but nothing.
No, I get the reports. Listen, you can't come in there where I don't hear about it. Well, I get like Monzero was in. Yep. Everyone tells me everything. Whenever Trick or Treat Radio,
he's asking about those.
Echo.
I didn't touch anything, Johnny.
I know you did.
I know you did.
I wanted to, but I didn't touch nothing.
All right.
Let's
play a voice.
Play a voice message.
Hello, my Trick or Treat peeps. It's your homie Double D once again. I just wanted to say what's up and chime in a little bit on the movie of the week, The Vigil. Well, first, I have to say that I enjoyed the role of the lead character, and I like the idea that the film explored traditions rooted in the Hasidic Jewish faith. You know that most religious horror films focus primarily on Christianity or Roman Catholicism for their source material, so I thought The Vigil was a nice change of pace And actually, I find it quite educational too. I had no idea what the fuck a shamra was and its actual function, which I have to say is some pretty creepy shit. So, if we have any Jewish listeners within our group, or your last name is Schwartzman, Feinstein, or anything like that, do not call me up ever to do that fucking job. I thought the premise and setup were cool, but that was about it for me, man. I just didn't find the movie scary enough. For me, the movie just couldn't shake the lousy jump scares and sluggish pacing that usually accompanies most like exorcism thrillers nowadays, And I thought that was the biggest problem with The Vigil, and specifically for a lot of modern horror films, where you have the setting made and the imagery is right for the horror film, but the narrative is just painfully repetitive. So the film really tuned me out at about midway. The movie wasn't bad, but it was just a so-so for me. I guess I was waiting for something like Babadook, but instead I got a watered-down Gollum version instead. I would say this movie is a trick for me, and I probably wouldn't recommend it to any of my homies in Cell Block 6. Raven Shadow, you know what I'm talking about, homie. With that being said, Double D has to depart. I have to attend to a dancing dragon that has declared a disco duel in my dungeon of death. Alliteration in the house again. Double D out.
Was he talking about Rad Dragon fucking whatever the fuck?
That's what I thought he was going to start talking
Dragon
about.
Sack. Awesome. Thanks, Double D. It's great to hear from you again, my friend. And it didn't work for Double D as much as it worked for us, but he was able to get some stuff from the film. So good on you, man. And yeah, keep calling in those thoughts. Like hearing it, man. Would you have seen that film on in Cell Block 6, Raven Shadow?
I'm not sure if that would have made movie night. It could have caused some problems.
Marion asked a question about the movie that is a bit spoilery, so I guess I won't bring that up.
I did notice that question, and I think I can possibly answer this without getting into spoilers.
Yep.
Throughout this whole movie, I didn't know if it was my mind playing tricks on me or whether the movie was doing subtle things in the background, but I did see things that weren't focused on that were happening in the background. So I think subtly the film was doing things that subconsciously the mind was picking up on in the background.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think that what she saw was not what she thinks it was. If it's the same moment I'm thinking of, because it's a sort of a wide shot, and you're seeing what's happening in the background, and I don't think it's what she thinks. If it's the same shot, but I mean, yeah, you're right, Aries, that there was a lot of that in films like this, when there's something that happens in the background, you're always kind of keep a keen eye out to see if you can find something, and that I think that was going on in this film.
Yeah, they do a little bit, and you're waiting for it, and you just keep on watching for it, and your mind starts playing tricks on you, and that adds to the movie.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. All right, so thank you, Double D and Arkham Josh. It's good to hear from you guys. And let me just make sure we didn't get any other voice messages in the time that I played that. Nope, I think we are good. Let me just check up on chat rooms and see if make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, I think we're good. Do you guys have anything else before we wrap things up?
No, I think we're done.
No, I think we want to talk about the Snyder Cut for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
It's going to be on Sunday, Aries. If you want to talk about the Snyder Cut, you can come to Blackout Tapes.
Aries, come hang on.
Let's go now. Let's continue to talk now. And
did you watch it?
No.
Oh, okay. Are you going to?
Nuts. I don't know. A 4-hour movie, it'll take me a week to watch that.
Do you have an interest, though?
I do. I really want to see that, but I definitely will not be able to get that in one sitting.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it like a miniseries, right? Like watch like an hour a day or something.
That's probably what we're going to end up doing.
Yeah. I think Rocky has us all beat. I think he watched it tonight, Raven Shadow.
Well, to be fair, Rockers watched it at like 2 a.m. Canadian time.
Canadian time? He's in the same time zone as us.
Yeah, there isn't a conversion rate. They don't get like an hour and a half for every hour we get.
I don't know. You got pounds. They got liters. I'm not sure what they got over there. They got all kinds of weirdness, but Rocky's on a different realm.
Oh, speaking of exchange rate, did daylight savings fuck with anyone?
Nah.
Yeah, because I talked with Rocky that fucking Sunday night, and it fucked me up because it was like, oh, we'll talk for 10 minutes. And now I'm like at 1:30 in the morning. I'm like, I gotta go to bed, Rock. And it was really 2:30 in the morning. That was a rough Monday.
It's not your own fault.
Yeah, it was good talking to Rock, but like, goddamn, fucking.
And you know what? That happened Saturday night, not Sunday night.
No, it was Sunday night. Yeah. So I'd work. I didn't wash my hair the next day.
Oh,
Oh no.
You must have been miserable.
I was. I had a shower.
All right. Well, we're getting some fucking roboting, so let's just end shit right now. So yeah, anyone interested? Blackout tapes on Sunday, March 21st, in the Blackout Tapes chat room on Discord. And that will be on Sunday, March 21st, around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested, if you hear this in time. If you don't, we're sorry we missed you, but maybe next time. All right, let's say our goodbyes, starting with MZ.
Arrivederci, douchebags.
What
the fuck is with that accent? What is it?
I don't know.
Douchebags.
Oh, God. All right.
Arrivederci, douchebags.
Okay.
All right, Aries.
Goodbye.
Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard, survive with your mask on.
The fuck was that?
That's what we thought of you.
I don't know what I'm saying.
All right, well, that's going to fucking do it. All right, so that is the end of the episode. Thank you to everyone who left us a voice message, everyone who tuned in live, and then also everyone who's going to check out the podcast when it drops. We appreciate you guys. And next week, as I mentioned, we will be talking about the film Come True, so make sure to come back for episode 452. See you then.